Oh, and the stream seems to have exploded at the moment. So we're gonna be doing a little bit blind here. Funnily enough, Adalor has just defeated blind.
We still have it up here in the Discord, so we can give you a little bit of a play-by-play. We have Adalor defeating Blind. We have High Ruler chasing So up Tower of Hera, also pulling off a nice quick Hera pot. And we've got Deep Fried headed towards the attic.
It's back now. And our second male in Tower of Hera, we saw another one in Lake Hyla, so our runners have access to, or our runners will have access to all three males by the end of the seed.
And Blind's attic is a dangerous place. Deep Fried down to half a heart here. Those grasshoppers hit very hard.
They hit like trucks, even with Blue Mail. But with that magic powder in his back pocket, he can turn a bubble into a fairy.
Not a lot of health so far for our runners. This is interesting. We're 30 minutes in and it's 6 hearts. Not sure where it's all hiding, but. And with Quake as the entry into Turtle Rock, we are going to see So go ahead and open that up. We can't really get in there yet without the red cane, Cane of Samaria, but we're going to go ahead and open it now since it is a crystal and we're going to need to be in there eventually. This also lets So check Super Bunny from the top, which is much faster.
We're also getting Hookshot Cave, 4 checks, and a 3rd sword. Definitely not going to turn that down. And one of those hearts we were just talking about.
And remember earlier when I was commenting on that late mini Moldorm cave check from Deep Fried? Well, now we have the classic 30-minute mini Moldorm check from High Ruler on the left. It was a good decision on his part in this seed. There's not going to be anything in here.
Yep, putting it off was definitely a very wise tactical choice.
Was that the ice rod in Super Bunny? I missed it. That looked like something.
I missed the second item as well.
Chat, help us out. What was that first chest in Super Bunny there?
And that was, in fact, the ice rod, as confirmed by Telebug and Tracker.
Nice clean fight from Deep Fried. Getting his second crystal of the match. We got 2 crystals for 3 of our 4 runners. And yes, Tyler reminding us that we have the flips on Desert Ledge, and with that flute, the Titan's Mitts, and the mirror, we do have access to that item now. We also have the hookshot and the hammer, so Swamp Palace is fully in logic. It is a pendant, so I'm sure our runners aren't happy about that fact, but it is possible to head in there. We got six items available in there if you don't skip the left side. Potentially 6 items in there even if you do skip the left side, if you get a good Swamp Palace. That was an interesting move from High Ruler. So High Ruler also is storing his Water Walk. But the thing about storing a Water Walk is if you fail the fake flippers, the Water Walk storage disappears. So High Ruler using a bomb to make sure he gets placed on the perfect pixel to land that fake flipper on the first try. And we've got a bow in Meyer's shed.
Oh!
We are starting to make some serious progression. We're going to see So pick up his flippers and head on into Desert Palace, which he cannot quite clear yet. We still have not found a fire source.
Unless he is making the Galaxy Ray move and fire source is in here.
Yeah, and I mean, when you're over here anyway, it really makes sense to treat these desert checks as overworld. You're already in the mire area. You're clearing mire shed and checkerboard cave. And it's not like you have to go back through the dungeon to get to the boss anyway. And High Ruler successfully pulling off that stored water walk to check Hobo and clean up Waterfall Fairy.
Very nicely. High Ruler clearly has experience.
High Ruler heading over towards Saha's closet. I don't expect we'll see him dip Eastern. I expect he's just going to make these 3 quick checks and then head out.
Not with the comparatively nothing he has, but he is rewarded with the Bombos medallion, which means he doesn't have to worry about where any of those medallions might end up later on.
And we have found the second bow in Desert Palace, so we now have silver arrows over on So's side, which is going to make, well, it would make Vitreous very easy, but Vitreous is a pendant, and as Chad is pointing out to us, Pedestal's dead. There's nothing we need that could be on the pedestal. So since Skullwoods is a pendant, Fire Rod's the only thing we need.
And as Chad is also pointing out, the seed being what it is, Fire Rod is probably going to be in Ice Palace. I was seeing it last night.
Fire Rod was in Ice Palace, locked behind Bombos, in the last seed that I played. So we'll see what happens, but it probably is.
As a reminder, backing us up today doing the tracking is the Roti 2952 and Bright Beginner 1. They're keeping us honest, and they're letting you keep track of what's going on in the game.
Doing a fantastic job. Thank you so much to our trackers. Makes it possible to follow what's going on here.
And so at some point, while we were yammering about whatever, Adler found the book somewhere. Must have been from the purple chest, Tyler saw the saying. Meaning that Adler can now make the forward entrance into Desert Palace, as well as we saw, check the tablets that would normally hold the medallions.
And this route is working out really well for So, with that bow and Silvers, able to take care of Pod and Eastern in one trip. Unfortunately, High Ruler has not made that trip over to Mire Shed yet, and so this is going to be a double dip for him, since we know there's no second bow in here to bail our runners out. And almost unfortunate that Pod is not bow locked, because High Ruler's going to spend some extra time in here.
Mm-hmm. When we say that Palace of Darkness is bow locked, what we mean is that there's a room in Palace of Darkness that has 3 mimics and an enemy locked door. You have to defeat the mimics to logically access the back of the palace. If finding a key, by High Ruler finding a key in that first chest, that means he can route through the dungeon another way and logically avoid that room. But because he can avoid that room, he doesn't know that he can't really do anything here. And so he's going to waste a little bit of time running around here.
Yeah, and even if you didn't need the bow to get to Helmasaur, you wouldn't be able to find enough keys to full clear the dungeon without access to those 2 chests on the right side. But you can certainly go a lot deeper before deciding to bail out of here in hopes of finding something. Also, thank you, chat, reminding us that we are not just Fire Rod from Go Mode. We are also going to need that cane at Samaria. And that is going to be a big factor probably of why our runners are not heading straight over to Ice Palace, since that cane makes Ice Palace a lot easier.
I know I said he needs bow here, but it turns out I'm a dirty liar, because that red pot that High Roller has allows him to dislodge the camera from his physical position on the map. And the game, because this is a very well-programmed video game, assumes that if an enemy is off screen, then it must be dead. And so if you can get the enemy off screen, the door will open anyway, and you can break the bow lock.
Isn't it convenient that those very bow locked enemies in the room that you can dislodge the camera happen to be enemies that you can control just by grabbing the wall?
It's very convenient.
Flippers are on Desert Ledge, to answer a question from chat. So all of our runners have access to them at this point. Wait a minute, has High Ruler not found the Titan's Mitts?
Nope, because he hadn't gone down the K45 yet.
That's right. That's why this play makes so much sense. If you haven't found the Titan's Mitts yet, of course you dip into pot at this point.
That was the most convoluted, painful-looking hammer jump setup I've seen in a while.
Hey, that's the same setup that I use, and it's very it's very easy to see the right pixel, but sometimes you need Link to move 1 pixel north or south, and he just refuses.
And yeah, if it works, it works. Chat's right about that. Finding the Cane of the Cane of Burna here in the Dark Maze. And it's deep fried. Going down to the Harmless Hellway, Swamp is a pendant, as it happens. It is the blue pendant. No, wait. No, Swamp is a crystal. Myra's a pendant. I confused myself, but no, Swamp is in fact a crystal today. We got green pendant, Skullwoods, blue pendant, Mr. Meyer, and red pendant. No, I forgot. Because I know all 3 pendants are in the Dark World this seed, because we saw the White World map check. And I know that the green pendant is Skullwoods and the blue pendant is Mr. Meyer. I just can't recall where the red pendant is. Oh, that's gonna bother me. Ice Palace, that's right. And we saw Adalor do, he must have done a diver down, and I missed it while talking about random nonsense. Diver down is really interesting, and I wish I could have talked about it. Maybe we'll see him do a diver down later, and I can talk about it then. But, so, putting down the Helmasaur King, and claiming his 3rd crystal of the seed, while High Ruler picks up a piece of heart off the pyramid ledge. Nothing super important there. Deep Fried going to dip a little bit Eastern Palace, but he does have those bows, so he's not going to get very far. High Ruler going to slide up and into the Dark World. Possibly gonna take those Skullwoods foil effects if he hasn't already.
Yeah, since we're seeing High Ruler come in from the CAC Dark World Porter, I have to guess he's heading into Skullwoods here.
And so if you just saw what Adalor did, he placed a bomb and position himself such that the bomb blew him into the railing, clipped him into the railing. And the thing about this game is, because it's incredibly well programmed, the game only transitions you into water if you move into water from the stairs. If you transition into water any other way, at least in this particular scenario, it assumes the water isn't there and just jumps you onto solid ground. This can be done with the bombs. It can also be done with the Caves and Moria, and it lets you move around Swamp Palace significantly more efficiently than having to drain those particular tiles.
To be fair, we do play. we explicitly play on the version of this game where none of these things have been patched out. And as chat pointing out, since we still play this game 30 years later, it is incredibly well programmed. I'm gonna have to agree with that. But also, programming is hard, and it's fun to make fun of this game that we spend so much time playing. That water in particular is a special type of water since it can drain. It's essentially a layer on top of the ground. And by not transitioning into it from the stairs, the game just places you on the ground.
Yeah, jokes aside, this game handles very well the abuse that the randomizer community puts it through. There's no denying that.
All right, High Ruler discovering that the answer is not going to be in the front of Skull Woods. And with a mirror and a flute, hopefully we're going to see a...
He needs to go to K45.
Yeah, but we're seeing him head back up the mountain here. So this is...
I don't know what.
I'm not sure what this is. This is a spike cave.
Because he has the Can of Burner from the Palace of Darkness. Yes. So, if I can weigh in on the matter of Super Mario 64 and Oracle and Ocarina of Time's graphics compared to Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64 has the unfortunate, okay, we found the lamp in Spike Cave. That's important. But Super Mario 64 and Ocarina of Time, yes, as Alaskan points out, the Nintendo 64 existed in the very, very early days of 3D graphics, and those age a lot more clunkily than sprite art does. 3D art just does. It's something you're not going to get away from.
Especially in the age of the Super NT and the emulators, we get to see these graphics look oh so crisp. And yeah, that lamp in Spike Cave is a useful find, not one that our runners strictly need, but we are going to see High Ruler head over to K45 here and get back on track with those mitts.
Mm-hmm. I imagine the mitts are going to pull him directly to the Maya area, which is going to give him the bows and put him right back on track.
Hopefully, we'll see High Ruler head straight over to Maya area. I have to. I don't think he has much else open to him. And there he goes. All right, High Ruler getting right back onto the progression, the track of progression here. But we do have So taking a commanding crystal lead here. That ability to clear out Pod and Eastern one after the other, making a big difference here.
Absolutely, that back-to-back is something you can't overstate the importance of.
Deep Fried is still going to need to make that trip down to K45 to get the mitts and get back on track here as well. But visiting our friend the Catfish first.
And where does Deep Fried go now? He's done just about everything he can. I imagine we're about to see K45 out of Deep Fried too.
Yeah, hopefully that's what it looks like. Adalor making the trip through pod with the benefit of that bow.
Not with the benefit of silvers. Where did we say that second bow was?
That second bow is on the right side of desert, so our all our runners will likely find it.
Deep Fried getting bullied by those pike-wielding pigmen.
Speaking of silvers, High Ruler picking them up. The only way a runner dodges those is if they happen to do purple chest first, like Adalor has, and then manages to. It'd be hard. It'd be hard to dodge the silvers in this seed, but it could be done.
You would have to make the dive to Spike Cave first and get the lamp, and then route Desert Palace such that you never need to hit the right side. So it could be done, but not likely.
All right, so something like 15 or 20 minutes after we first said this, we are still just looking for the Fire Rod and the Cane of Samaria here.
It's always that one item. At least it's not the Ice Rod today.
And of course, they could both be an Ice Palace.
They could. And we will have to see if the game decides to be that kind of terrible today.
You know, I had a seed yesterday or the day before where Cane of Samaria and Hammer were in Ice Palace. So,
oh God.
Yeah, Pendant Ice Palace, I believe. So, you know, it's a fun game that we play. Ice Rod was in Super Bunny Cave.
Top chest being Super Bunny, yep. We haven't seen the Ether Medallion check yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and say Cane of Samaria is up there. It seems to like being up there.
And we are seeing So take the dive into Swamp Palace here. I don't think we had anything of value. Or is this So's second visit to Swamp Palace, and he's just going back for?
I think so.
No, because Swamp is a crystal, and he hasn't cleared that crystal yet. So he's just he's being thorough, which makes sense. Only looking for these last two items. But just a map and 10 arrows on left side swamp today.
Unfortunate. You never like going to left side swamp and finding nothing, but what you like even less is not going to left side swamp and finding out way later that you're missing something.
I did have the legendary hook shot on left side swamp in the little casual cross keys seed I was running last night, so it's things like that that make it really hard for me to make what I know is the totally reasonable play of skipping those checks.
Very nice diver down from him, so making it look easy, because it definitely is not.
And we've gotten to see both setups for that today between our runners. We got the bomb setup from So and the cane setup. Oh no, we also got the bomb setup from Adalor because we haven't found the cane yet.
Still waiting for the cane. No, I don't think we have. I don't think we've seen a sick kid check at all. Nobody bothered to go back to Kakariko once they got the bottle. So it could be there, you know.
All right, and a nice clean finish on Helmasaur King from High Ruler. Synchronized crystal grabs here as So is finishing up Argus. And So just continuing with a commanding crystal lead here. Although High Ruler right on his tails with 4.
And because we were just talking about them, the randomized play has like dozens and dozens and dozens of different sprites that you can choose to play as. All of them are rendered with care by the community. They do amazing work graphically.
And we're getting a Pyramid Fairy check from So. As it could have either of our 2 Go Mode items at this point. Very nice bomb duplication from So there. I am always way too scared to use that strat, and I just take it the slow way. What's gonna be at the Pyramid Fairy today? We have 20 rupees and a piece of heart.
Red, but not the red we're looking for. Chat saying that COVID kid, sick kid, has a cane for us today, but oh no, that's just a guess. I'm sorry.
And one of our trackers telling us that
that sick kid was already checked.
We did see a sick kid check, and it was just a piece of heart or something like that. All right, and that'll be the 3rd crystal for Deep Fried. Deep Fried is also going to be able to do Pod and Eastern in one trip here. But he's actually heading back up to the mountain. We're going to see a few more overworld checks from Deep Fried. I'm guessing this is a Hookshot Cave and Super Bunny check, so Deep Fried will find his Ice Rod.
With the silver arrows in his pocket, High Roller is going to have a significantly faster armor sight than Adalor is about to.
This will be interesting. We'll get to see him almost side by side here. And we got the first part of the quick quill set up from Adalor and finishing it off very nicely.
Very nicely done. Essentially synchronized cryptographs.
And yes, that lamp that only one of our runners has was in Spike Cave. Likely a lot of people are not going to find that one this seed. All right, and at this point, we just have a lot of these runners retracing each other's steps.
While they're doing that, go ahead and give these runners a follow. They're putting on a wonderful show for us today, and we would not be here without them.
Absolutely, and we are going to see So make the Ice Palace play, which I was just sort of thinking is one of the few places we haven't seen yet.
Never where you want to find yourself, but this seed seems to be saying to heck with what our runners want. You're going to go here, and you're going to like it.
Yeah. No red cane pendant ice palace is never fun, but with that Bombos medallion, it's just calling your name. And the dream is dead. No Cane of Samaria in the first chest, so we're going to be doing this the old-fashioned way.
Oh, well. Once you start watching all the speedrunners tear Ice Palace apart, taking it the normal way is just so painful.
Although So is certainly no slouch at doing this the NMG way. We're moving very quickly through towards the Ice Palace bomb jump. That was a very fast setup. Very well done from So. And bonk across. Out of the room. And in chat, someone, Tyler Salt, mentioning, I don't even remember how to do IP as intended. Nobody. Ice Palace is terrible. Nobody does. Very nice clip.
That's something I've not seen here. Wow.
I've seen that one. I just I'm not sure how that one works, but it's very smooth.
So taking a second to think about what he was going to do, and then decides that the big chest is what he wants to do.
And unfortunately, it's losing the coin flip there. I'm gonna have to go a long way around to Ice-T.
Second try, get her down setup. Very well done. And the reason that we wanted to see Cane of Samaria in that first Jeff and Ice Palace is because it lets you do something called Icebreaker. The game handles door transitions by pushing Link out of particular doors until he is no longer in a position the game considers to be in the door. And if you use the Cane of Samaria in a particular way, the block actually extends that door shape, so it pushes Link through until he's out of the block, and that just so happens to put you past a barrier that blocks you from the rest of the palace. So the Cane of Samaria lets you skip a significant portion of the palace.
Right, and because of the way they work, Icebreaker as well as Diver Down are both technically considered major glitches and are not allowed in the NMG speedrun. But they're really cool, so we still use them in Randomizer. I think So's route was influenced by not having a small key. I could be wrong. Someone in chat mentioning that it feels like a weird Ice Palace route, but if you don't find that early small key and you don't have Kane, yeah, Icebreaker cuts Ice Palace in half, especially since you don't need the big key in Ice Palace. It just lets you go straight to the boss. If Icebreaker were allowed in NMG, you would definitely see some routing changes to pick up that Cane of Samaria before heading into Ice Palace. And so mirroring out of
bailing out of Ice Palace.
Ice Palace, I'm gonna trust their item count and say they found all three. I was not paying attention, but I will trust that they did.
So closing the loop with the Smith check on the purple chest, finding his book. And Argus is down for High Ruler, giving him his 6th crystal to match, and putting him on the hunt for Fire Rod, Ice Rod, and Cane of Samaria.
And Adalor deciding to take a little bit of a coffee break. Has Adalor found the lamp? Has Adalor been to Spike Cave?
It doesn't look like he has.
So this is unfortunately not gonna.
Although he must have. No, he doesn't.
No, I think Adalor now realizing no fire source.
Yep, that Bombos doesn't quite work that way.
I would be lying if I said I'd never made that mistake. So instead, we're going to have a Super Bunny check from Adalor here. He's going to go ahead and use this Dark World portal again. So gives him a check of the... Well, he has all 3 medallions, so he knows he'll be able to just go ahead and open up Turtle Rock. And then get the Super Bunny checks from the top and head into Hookshot Cave. So Adalor is going to get his Tempered Sword and his Ice Rod, which will feel nice. We have had a Front of Skull Woods check and did not find anything of interest there, I don't believe. All right, here comes the Ether Tablet check. And it's just a piece of heart, so the answer is probably just... and we're going to get a Spike Cave check from So he's going to get his first fire source. And we'll see if after that he decides to clean up Hera or head over to Meyer.
And then the question comes... Yep, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just someone in the chat mentioning that if the fire rod is on fire locked Meyer side, that is going to certainly increase the average finish time for this seed.
You don't even joke about it. But beyond the fire rod, we still have no idea where the Cane of Samaria is.
Well, we're about to find out if both of them, if they are the two items in Meyer, because that's where So's headed right now. But first, we will see a landmill kill from So. Yes, someone speculating in chat, Kane and Turtle Rock. That's where I think it is too. Definitely on Laser Bridge.
Another really nasty place to put it.
That would be a very nasty place to put it, yeah. Joking, of course. Just in case anyone here is not familiar, Turtle Rock, you have no access to any checks in Turtle Rock without the Cane of Samaria, in this mode, at least.
Yeah, you can get to it in inverted. I think you can access it quickly there.
Yeah, in inverted or entrance randomizer, there's all sorts of different ways to route Turtle Rock, but in a standard mode, without a couple of very lengthy hovers, there is no way to get there. It is allowed. It is just very difficult, and not something that I've personally ever seen anyone attempt. I'm sure someone's done it at some point, just for the meme. But
there's only a couple runners that I think would possibly try to do all that sort of hovers. I don't even think that they would do it in a serious setting.
All right, and now we're going to find out what's been hiding in Meyer from So. Meyer and Ice Palace both being pendants, but Ice Palace being 3 checks and Meyer being 2. And guaranteed accessibility to all 3 checks in Ice Palace, and potentially missing one in Meyer without the cane if the last item's on Vidi. Makes a lot of sense to check Ice Palace first. Fortunately, didn't pay off this time.
Mm-hmm. Deep Fried and Adel were here on the same screen. Well, for a moment anyway.
Yeah, I've definitely seen clips of people hovering TR. I just don't know that I've never seen anyone do it in a race setting, which is certainly not to say that it hasn't happened. Yeah, we do have someone mentioning in chat that if you're playing an entrance randomizer like Cross Keys, and you're very confident with your hovering, it can make sense to just hover to try and X. But again, in a non-entrance randomized mode, it's very rare for it to make sense. All right, and so we have a small key in that fire-locked chest, which means we are guaranteed to find the big key in its vanilla chest, and so we see So just headed straight there. Key logic in Meyer is key logic in Meyer, but if you ever find a small key in that chest, you know for a fact that the big key will be in this cutscene chest. I believe so. It definitely does not work the other way around. In other words, just because there is no small key in that top chest does not mean there is necessarily no big key in the cutscene chest. But if you find the big key in that top chest, I believe you are also guaranteed to find a small key in the cutscene chest, which has the implications of... Oh, is that wrong? Okay, I take it back. Never mind. Got it. Thank you for correcting me on that. And we're seeing another stair extension from So here, clipping through that rail. Gives you a little bit of a...
a little bit of time saving over having to get there the normal way.
And there was an item in the big chest, but it is not the one we're looking for, so... And 2 items in Mire. Mire is also a bust. All right, what is left?
God only knows at this point. We already checked Dark Cross. It was a small key because it had to be. I guess Hera Basement is the only place we haven't checked yet because we only got the lamp recently. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, someone speculating on Green Pendant. We could not see the Fire Rod on Green Pendant since Skull Woods is the Green Pendant. But we could potentially see the cane on Green Pendant. We would just need to find the Fire Rod somewhere else first.
Fire Rod and Hera Basement potentially leading to Skull Woods. Could happen.
Yeah, we see So cleaning up Graveyard Legend King's Tomb, which we've already seen from Adalor, so we know that's not the answer. Starting to seem like Hera Basement might be the only option left. And that might be what we're seeing from High Ruler here. This is probably going to be an Ether Tablet cleanup first, and then when that turns out to be nothing, we'll see if he decides to jump into Hera Basement.
Answering question in chat, yes. The French Twin, there are currently 17 runners. 17 runners in this race. We are featuring 4 of them. Actually, you know what? I think Telva's right. I don't think anybody opened the big chest in Swamp Palace. I didn't see it.
I don't know that we found the big key in Swamp Palace, so I think the big key might have locked itself. I could be wrong.
It could be, yeah. I think so, actually.
But we are going to find out what's in Hera Basement from High Ruler here, and as pointed out in chat, if the logical progression is to do Spike Cave into Hera Basement, which is what would be forced if we find the Fire Rod here, that would be gross. Not just logically required, but hard required, if that's what it turns out to be.
And High Ruler seems about as pleased with this situation as we do here. This randomizer is you need a copy of the A Link to the Past Japanese 1.0 ROM, and then you just go to ALTTPR.com and upload the ROM file in the... Oh, God.
That was a Fire Rod in Hera Basement with a lamp in Spike Cave. This is officially disgusting.
I think it was disgusting before, and now it's just hideous.
The average time of this seed just went way up. That worked out well for High Ruler. High Ruler, I believe.
He's in pole position at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, High Ruler has not yet cleared Swamp Palace. Is that true? I think he has.
His tracker says he hasn't. Ice Rod was in Super Bunny Cave, so he had access to that relatively quickly. But, oh god.
So Samaria
Oh
cannot be on
god.
Ped. Samaria cannot be on Ped since Meyer is a pendant. Ped's been dead for quite a while, but
This is hideous. The other three runners have already done Tower of Hera and probably wiped it from their minds. Are they going to think when, if ever, are they going to think to go back?
and yeah, chat pointing out. So I sort of stopped myself because I wasn't sure if High Ruler had finished Swamp Palace. I believe he has, and that puts High Ruler solidly in the lead for our restreamed runners here. And High Ruler is just following that progression, taking that Fire Rod straight to Skull Woods. I'm not sure how many items we found in here, but it is a green pendant, so it makes sense to head straight over here. Because our options are extremely limited at this point. Alright, and So is heading right back up to Hera Basement as well, because as pointed out in chat, pretty sure So has full cleared the rest of the game. Fire Rod is in Hera Basement, locked behind the lamp, which was in Spike Cave, which is... That is just a logical progression. Yeah.
Yes, Sword. Moth does take 0 damage if you boop him into the spikes with your sword. This is because the designers of the game didn't want you to be able to trivialize Mothzilla by just hitting him into the spikes and killing him anyway.
Which is really fun when you end up with a boss shuffle seed and you meet Mothula in any other room, because it is just not a boss fight.
Yeah, the only reason Mothula is difficult at all is because of his arena.
All right, and So picking up the Fire Rod. So going to be back on track. We'll see if So makes the same play as High Ruler. It looks like they are.
So, Zolar, that's actually the other way around. The Gold Sword does 0 damage because it does the same damage class as the spikes. And Ice Road was in Super Bunny Cave. And High Roller is going to take that green pendant from Skullwoods, go straight over to Sahasrara, and then probably cry. Because they're probably going to find the king. And that's going to be awful.
Which is brutal, but as pointed out in chat, Samaria Go Mode is, even though this has been a pretty rough logical chain, all in all, it's like, it feels gross, but it was pretty straightforward. They ran out of, and sure enough, there's the Cane of Samaria on green pendant. So that confirms it, right? Like, that's a pretty... You run out of places to check pretty quickly, right? You can't get baited into going into the back of Mire. You can't get baited into going into Turtle Rock. And we're going to see High Ruler, our first runner in Go mode, head straight up to Turtle Rock and just Go mode it, because we have the Tempered Sword, we have the Silver Arrows. As soon as you have enough small keys and a big key, you're heading straight back to Trinex.
Yep. Go mode Turtle Rock is not the fastest dungeon in the world, even in Go mode, but it's also certainly not the slowest. And in back to talking about boss shuffle, it's really fun when other bosses end up on Mossula's arena, because that just makes it even more difficult.
It's gross. With So picking up the green pendant, we, of course, with the benefit of knowledge from High Roller's stream, know that the big brain play here is to head straight to Saha, but most likely we'll see So clean up the rest of Skullwoods here. And High Ruler,
Or
nope,
we won't.
we will not. So's going to make a liar out of me. He's going to go straight to Saha. It's possible that we already had seen both items in Skullwoods and High Ruler just didn't remember. That might have been the last item in Skull, yeah.
And like Kirby-san says, the only boss that doesn't really apply to is Moldorm, because Moldorm just spins. He gets
Helmasaur. Helmasaur King. Does Moldorm also spin? Oh, no, you're right, yeah.
Moldorm spins in circles, Helmasaur's tail just goes bonkers.
Yeah, that's right. All right, so we have So in Go mode as well, heading straight up to Turtle Rock. So does have extremely good execution, but High Ruler also no slouch, so we'll see what happens here.
High Roller with a little bit of lead, but Turtle Rock has a very bad habit of taking that lead and just pitching it out the window. Well done using the invulnerability from the hammer pegs, or from the switch pegs to bypass the chain chomps, because those things hurt.
And High Ruler sitting on those pegs to let the bunny ring poof itself out and avoid getting hit by those anti-fairies. And grabbing the big key out of Lava Chest. Lava Chest, a check that is often skipped, but if you haven't found the big key by the time you get to this room, don't skip it, because you need it. Speaking from experience. And no major roadblocks for High Ruler yet in Turtle Rock. So keeping that pretty solid lead.
Yep. Just cruising through.
The only mistake that High Ruler has made so far in Turtle Rock is going the long way around in the torch room, which was unnecessary given that he had that hook shot, but hasn't made a big difference so far. And gonna go ahead and get the crystal roller chest since we need the small key. Very nice item dash with the Cane of Samaria there to kick the block up to the switches. And we are going to have to see some laser bridge action from High Ruler, because there is going to be a required small key there. Not taking any chances, just busting out that Cane of Burna.
Yep.
Can't blame him. I mean, this is one of those seeds where even though we know High Ruler's in the lead, it's impossible to not feel behind in this seed.
Yeah, just based on how late that final item came.
I'm not sure what happened there. That
he bounced off of something incorrectly that stopped him from completing the item dash.
Yeah, Tech. I can't imagine anyone running the seed and not feeling like, well, okay, except for Allison. I guess Allison wouldn't feel behind. I would certainly feel behind. Yeah, that's a good point though. That fire rod is so bad that if you're able to, keep calm and realize everybody's going to last location that fire rod. This is not a matter of, oh, if only I had done things differently, I could have done Tower of Hera in one trip. Everybody's going to make that same play. Regardless, I would still feel behind because I always feel behind. But I am also aggressively average, and Allison is much better than that. So fair enough that you wouldn't feel behind.
No, not just potions. It has to be Bruno Cape. Yeah, I think so anyway. You can probably brute force it if you have enough potions, but the logic wants it to be an invulnerability item.
I believe it's an invulnerability item plus, yeah, exactly. Either Burna or Cape plus 2 magic bars. So that could either be a potion, a green potion specifically, or half magic. And as pointed out in chat, you can brute force it with. Well, I think that was actually a GT Big Key guess, but it also happens to be the number of hearts you need to brute force Spike Cave. Okay, as we enter into GT, sorry about that, we forgot to mention. Get your guesses in. We'll give it 2 more seconds. Ready, go. All right, and cutting him off. Thanks, Allison. It's actually 13. Good to know. Okay, so we're at 2 so far. Nothing. We did find a small key in Hope Room, but High Ruler not following it, heading over to the left side. And our third check, still nothing. All right, so if So goes Hope Room and follows it right, and the big key ends up being on the right side, that could be the difference maker here. Finding our last bottle in GT. And we have So headed into Ganon's Tower. This could come down to big key routing. Oh, but So going straight left. So High Ruler's going to hold on to that lead, such as it is for now. This is not a 100% randomizer. This is the first person to defeat Ganon. And in order to defeat Ganon in this mode, you have to collect all 7 crystals to get access to Ganon's Tower. And then climb to the top of Ganon's Tower, defeat Aghanim 2. That will teleport you to the pyramid. All right, and so, as mentioned in chat, using the Dark Magician strats,